Hey. Welcome to the Rehab Roundup. I am your host, Dr. Hassan, board certified physiatrist and independent practice owner. I help physiatrists start and grow their own independent practice so that they can achieve financial independence and live without limits. Big day today, so I'm going to try to be as efficient and brief as possible. I know it's a lot going on, so don't really want to take a lot of your time, but I do want to stay consistent, give you value, and bring you the Rehab Roundup. So today's topic: 4 questions you must ask when starting your practice. This is really catered to physiatrists, but any physicians or just entrepreneurs in general can really benefit from a lot of the topics that I talk about. So please tune in. If you know of a physiatrist who you think may benefit from this, please share this. If you catch this on the replay, please put hashtag replay. So we're going to go ahead and just jump into it. So like I said, everybody can kind of get back to what they're doing. So 4 key questions you must ask when starting your practice. Number 1, are you ready? Right? That's really important. Before you do this, you have to ask yourself, are you ready? This is not something that you take lightly. It's going to be a big endeavor that you're going to have to put a lot of time, effort, and sometimes money. Well, not even sometimes, money as well. So you want to make sure you're ready before you jump into this endeavor. So with that being said, you want to be mentally prepared. As my coach always stresses, mindset is important. So you have to have the right mindset to really be able to be successful at this and really deal with all the ups and downs, trials and tribulations. So you have to go from the employed mindset to the independent mindset. If you don't do that, it will be very difficult for you to be successful. So you have to change your mindset and go from employed to independent. So that's going to be a big one. You also have to kind of wrap your head around and be comfortable with making decisions. You're going to be you're going to be the only person, especially when you start out, that's making, some of the bigger decisions in terms of equipment, payroll, how to market, where to market, different things like that. So you have to be comfortable with making difficult and complex decisions. So that's going to be important. Making sure that you're ready and comfortable with making decisions, right? One of the biggest things in terms of driving physicians to go the independent route is the autonomy and ability to make more of the decisions on their own. Sometimes in an employee position, people are dictating to you. So after a while, that's not the greatest feeling in the world. So physicians kind of want to say, hey, I'll go out on my own. And as a result, that kind of leads them to building, growing, and starting their own independent practice. So another thing you need to realize and think about if you're ready for this is you're going to have many jobs. So when you start out, a lot of times it's just you. You may have family or friends that may help you on a voluntary basis, but you're going to wear all the hats. So you have to be comfortable with that and be ready for that as well. Another thing is your family prepared, right? Are your friends prepared? So as you do this, it's going to really drastically change your life to the point where you may not be able to dedicate as much time to family and friends. So you have to make sure that your family and friends are ready for this time commitment and really life change that you're going to embark upon. It's helpful if they're on board. It makes everything, the transition, a lot more comfortable. If they are not, it's going to be difficult. So you have to be ready for the difficult times if they're not ready for the change that your transformation. Number 2, what is your niche? I talked about this on a previous live, but really you got to figure out what's your ideal patient population, – where are they, and how do you find them? one of the biggest factors of why practices fail is they don't know where their patients are or what their ideal patient is. So you got to figure out what that is. A lot of things in medicine now are becoming way more specialized, so you have to determine what your focus is, what your ideal patient is, and really cater to that niche. So that's number 2. Number 3, what is your plan of action, right? You got to plan if you want to have more of a virtual-based practice, more of a physical-based practice. You got to figure out if you're going to do this thing full-time, part-time. It may be beneficial to do it part-time when you're initially starting out. And then as revenue, patients pick up, then you can dedicate more of a full-time to your practice. But initially you want to kind of plan for part-time, and as you grow, transition into full-time. You want to figure out if you're going to be solo versus having help. A lot of times initially it's solo. You have to be ready for that, prepare for that. And then as you grow, build, and things start to progress and you get more successful, then you can talk about and develop a plan to bring on more people. You got to figure out what your business plan is. That's going to be important. That's your structure. That's your foundation. So you definitely want to come up with a business plan also. Number 4, who are you going to call? So in starting your practice, at some point in that process, you will need help. So you have to figure out who you're going to call, right? So, is that going to come in the form of advice? Is that going to come in the form of support? Is that going to come in the form of tools, information? You want to have a list of resources, be that training, webinars, coaches, books that you can really utilize to help you when you get stuck or you encounter a problem. Don't be afraid to seek help. Seeking help is not a sign of failure, it's a sign of growth. One of the biggest things is knowing what you don't know so that you can educate yourself and get past that knowledge deficit. So it's going to be really important to figure out who you're going to call whenever something comes up. And those are really the 4 big questions that you want to ask when starting to practice. Like I said, I wanted to be really brief. Today is a big day. A lot going on, a lot happening that could potentially impact, things for years to come. So hopefully everybody's safe, comfortable, and in a good space. No anxiety or anything like that. This is the Rehab Roundup. I'm your host, Dr. Hassan, board-certified physiatrist and independent practice owner. I help physiatrists start and grow their own independent practice so that they can achieve financial independence and live without limits. I will be back next Tuesday with another topic. Everybody be safe.